podcast with just going through the motions of introducing myself and all that bullshit, this, that, and third. Just simple conversation. So, and you look gorgeous.
Well, thank you. After a full day of my vanilla job, it's good to know it doesn't take much to.
Well, shit. I was not in my vanilla job this week. This week actually been fucked up with COVID. Actually, I'm just coming off of COVID. Actually, so you were my first show since that. So shoot, and how is it balancing the world of porn and the world of working your 9 to 5?
It's difficult. I actually started a new in-office 9 to 5 back in July, and I haven't, being sick and traveling, I haven't actually had time to really focus on trying to make more content. So I'm trying to balance not having a work from home job anymore with trying to keep up with making content.
Yeah, because it's one thing when you're able to work from the crib and you kind of can work around that a little easier than having to go out to the job.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because why do people think that we don't have jobs?
I don't know. I think people think that it's an easy thing, and there are people out there that'll give you money left and right when that's not the case. Certainly not if you don't fit a certain aesthetic. I mean, I'm a BBW and I market myself that way, but I'm not everybody's niche, so it makes it even harder to make that money.
Well, shoot. Well, I mean, I ain't gonna front from my experience. BBWs the shit's Nick in the porn business.
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with us. I just know that we're not everybody's.
I mean, but the way porn had developed, it made it such because everything is just so segmented now. Period. It's kind of like when you think about it. Like, I mean, I don't know your age bracket. How old are you, or what have you? I'm thinking she's like late 20s, probably at best.
I'm 34.
34. See, I was close. I said late 20s.
I appreciate it. It's a compliment, but yeah, I'm 34.
You know what I'm saying? But there was no different. There wasn't no BBW porn. There wasn't no big booty porn. There was no such thing as anal. If anal was in the porn, it was just in the porn. They didn't even make it a point to even point out that it was anal sex.
Yeah.
You kind of just so happened to notice that it was anal sex.
You kind of had to be able to watch the little preview and be like, oh, this is what I want, without having that category. I remember the days of LimeWire, trying to download stuff there.
No, she didn't say LimeWire. Yes, she's in my age bracket, ladies and gentlemen. Because that's how people used to bootleg the porn. It was before there was a Pornhub and all that. It was LimeWire.
Yeah.
I used to use LimeWire to get some porn here and there. I ain't even go front. What have you? Because then back then it's either you did it that way or you went to like one of the video stores nearby.
Yeah, I wasn't old enough to go to those video stores when I discovered all that, so it was LimeWire.
So see, you was at the custom where everybody was using the computer.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you what's funny, people. I don't want to discuss the first computer I ever had in life.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't even make that anymore. It was called Tandy. That shows you what it was. It was before there was an IBM.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that one.
This shit, that's why I say it's just crazy. It's like me being at 48, seeing the world, technology going from Super Nintendo to Sega Genesis to what was it? God, I can't think of the name of the browser they used to have before there was a Google.
Oh yeah.
Netgate, something like that.
Oh yeah, Netscape Navigator.
Netscape, that's what it was. Yeah, it was. It just y'all don't have to worry about that noise no damn more.
Nope.
So, oh my goodness. And I also saw that you hang out with my good friend Princess Gemini and my other good friend Fairy, Killer Queen.
Yeah, I got to meet them when I was in Vegas back in July, and I'm finally getting the content out that we made when we were together, and they're both absolutely lovely human beings, and I can't wait to hopefully work with them again.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more. So, with that being said, welcome to the Smokers Lounge. You know who I am. I am Kavanaugh, the Southern Champ, aka the porn rap star, fresh from COVID. Yes, I am back, people. And I ain't going nowhere. And you can find all my links with one link, allmylinks.com/porn rap star. Let me tell you about these wonderful sponsors that we have for you. First, the Facebook and LS community, lsworld.com. Next up, the hottest adult magazine in the game, magazine.com. And the new home of the Premium Smoke Room. We're talking about 90% profit for you and no hashtag issues for you content creators. When you consumers, a new place to consume your Triple S content and interact with some of your favorite content creators and porn stars. We're talking about excitebunny.com. And like I said, go over to excitebunny.com and join the Premium Smoke Room. Y'all know what it is. What happens in the Premium Smoke Room stays there. Also, last but not least, award-winning, award-nominated. I'm talking about voiceover with Smut. And they even have virtual reality. We're talking about blusherotica.com. Go get a subscription today. Also, we're a proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. So go over to shopgwdistrict.com and buy something from some black-owned companies. Why don't you? Also, check me out 5 days out of the week on fullswapradio.com. Also, check me out on skyhopper.tv.com as well as the BGP LLC app. Now, I'm going to sit back and let this sexy, gorgeous, beautiful, freak next door looking lady introduce herself to you and my smokers. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm Sarah Sitwell, also known as BBW Goddess Sarah. I've been doing this for about 4.5 years, and I'm finally able to sort of get it into a groove where I'm releasing new content once a week, and hopefully continue to do that for the coming years.
Now, you say you've been doing this 4 years. Now, of course, you know it's always a running joke that the average lady lasts, well, up to 3 years in this business, period. And my question to you before we go into the time machine is, what keeps you in this?
I enjoy the community, and I also enjoy other aspects beyond the sex on camera. I mean, I enjoy it's kind of silly, but the marketing aspect. I enjoy editing the videos, not just because I get to watch all that fun stuff, but the act of editing is something I enjoy. And so all of that is allowing me to learn and grow and do other things that I wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to do or to practice. And again, the community, it's a great community.
See, people don't realize that part of what keeps people in this is the passion.
Absolutely.
It's an old saying that if it's not fun anymore, it's time to leave.
Yep.
And for you, where can you see people lose passion for this?
I will say I've had a few bad experiences with co-performers, and I think that can be one of the things that really drags someone down and really makes them want to stop doing what they do, because there's only so much creativity some people can have with doing their solo content. So when they reach out and branch out and work with other creators, unfortunately, I mean, I didn't have a good vetting process. I'm working on that right now. But if you don't have a good vetting process, you don't necessarily know that the people you're working with are going to treat you with respect, treat your boundaries with respect, and pay you and do whatever you guys agreed on. And I know that that's the kind of thing that can really cause someone to dislike everything about the industry.
Yeah, because it takes one bad experience. That's a good weed.
Okay.
I might have been sick with cold, but I still smoke. But anyway, no, one bad experience can turn you off from it.
Yeah.
Or what have you and everything. And because even with me as a producer and a talent, I always pay for the next man's sin. Period. Even to when, at a time when females wasn't doing content trade, you had a girl that might be down for it, but after her first content trade, which went totally left, now she don't want to do content trade everything. So it messes up the person that comes behind who might be actually serious and professional.
Yeah, and I've spoken to some. I've had to kind of change parameters of what I require when speaking to newer creators. There are certain people locally that I would like to work with, but I'm a very intuitive person, and my intuition is telling me that it's not right for whatever reason, or that I need them to kind of grow their own following, get a little bit more experience. Even if they just have one collab under their belt, that can be enough for them to understand some of the inner workings, depending on who that collab is with.
Yeah, but now, but see, you hear females on Twitter like, "Oh, he ain't got to be that experienced. He ain't got to have a big dick. He ain't got to have this to work with me, this, and third." But then they be the first one to complain about how unprofessional he was.
Yep.
He couldn't keep it up. He didn't have no equipment. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some type. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything.
Absolutely. And I'll make exceptions if the vibe is right. You know, I consider myself to be pretty intuitive. But my intuition, I had some poor judgment back a couple months ago, and my intuition was telling me don't do this, and I did it, and it was a really terrible experience, and unfortunately it's someone I won't work with again. But he was very new to the industry. He had very little equipment. He didn't know how to edit. He didn't even have anything to do the editing with, and it just was stuff that I didn't realize before we even met. But I drove 8 hours to work with him, so.
Even with my first, see, it was different when I came in the game. Because I'm sorry, the fact that he had no way to even know how to edit it.
Yeah,
y'all didn't understand what we had to go through to edit a video. But I digress.
I don't doubt it. You guys
to get the video itself was an adventure within itself.
Don't doubt that. Now it's really easy. You know, you got things like I use Wondershare, which is like it's $20 for a year subscription, and it's super user friendly. It's totally worth it. I'm not trying to like plug anything for you, but it's my favorite thing to use because I don't have a Mac, so I don't have, you know, iMovie or whatever. But you just gotta find what works for you. But it's not that difficult to find those tools.
No, but see, that's the difference between you coming in as a business or you coming in as this is just a way to get my jollies off.
Yeah.
You know, period. And that's the only thing about our genre. It is easy for someone who wants to get their jollies off to get into the business because you have more women getting into the business. And of course, now we got to go into the time machine. Because we're gonna go back into the time machine because of course you wasn't doing boy girl first. You probably were doing solo. So what got you into the business to begin with?
So I actually started out with a little bit of financial domination, and that changed pretty rapidly as I started delving more into what that entailed, what other people did, and what kind of market there was for someone my size. And I found that it was a lot more difficult to market myself that way than it was to market myself just as an amateur porn star. So I switched pretty quickly. I think the second month that I was doing it, and I reached out to someone. I'm on FetLife, and I reached out to someone 30 minutes from me who did that kind of stuff just as like a stunt cock, if you will. And he helped me do the first couple, but I also still wasn't well versed in everything that I needed to have in terms of documents. So that content is no longer available because it didn't meet, you know, I didn't have the requirements.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. So basically, okay, how did you become financial dominatrix? Cause I mean, wait a second, because you just go skip over the fact that you was a financial dominatrix before you decided to do porn. So
yeah.
and that's not just you just don't skip over that and you just pretend like that ain't shit. So we're gonna go back to unpack that. How did you become financial dominatrix?
It was such a short period for me that it doesn't even feel like it's barely even a blip on my radar anymore. I sort of started it on a whim. I started doing research and hearing more about it because I was on FetLife. And over time, I realized that while there were one-offs that would pay a lot of money, it wasn't something I enjoyed as much. And I'm not as dominant as I thought I could be. It felt forced, and so it didn't feel like something I needed to continue.
Mm-hmm. Now, she mentioned FetLife, so we might go off on a tangent for a second.
Oh no.
Because I'm about through with FetLife. It's how good did FetLife treat you when it comes to this business on the business side?
I don't use it a lot for business. I can connect with a few people, but I don't know how many people are coming from FetLife to my sites. I don't think it's that many.
But I mean, even to collaboration, even to the lifestyle itself.
Honestly, from my personal standpoint, when I just had a personal account and I didn't use it for business before I started doing that, I think I met 3 or 4 people that were actually worth my time on there, which is more than I can say for things like Tinder and Hinge and all that. So honestly, it's been better for the dating life than some of the other things.
Well, me, it's like, well, one, I'm a dominatrix that's an open marriage. So people already know, smokers already know what it is. And like I said, even to the point of I have met probably like you 3 people, and I'd have been on there going on almost a decade. And it's kind of like, to me, FetLife ain't even for the lifestyle anymore. To me.
Okay, I get that. I mean, I think I've been on and off for like 7 years. So
I'm seeing more girls with OnlyFans on there this year than I ever seen in FetLife history.
All of that blew up since COVID. I started about a year before COVID hit, almost exactly a year. Mm-hmm. And I think I saw somewhere that pre-COVID on ManyVids, there were somewhere around 50,000 MV girls, and now there are over 130,000.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, but see, because it when I tell people about what happened with the Backpage, the same thing happened with OnlyFans. It's the easy route for women, and it's not anything against women. The game is made for y'all to do this, to make the money. They're going to go to, when OnlyFans, especially OnlyFans became popular, that's where they're going to flock to, because recession, money, jobs being lost, especially with the pandemic, because couldn't nobody work. So females figured out a way to make money with that, period. Yeah. They just actually thought because it was a paywall that nobody was going to find out that you did it.
Oh, that's not
I have no comment. No, it's just to me, because even with escorting, you didn't show your face. So they didn't see your face. They saw your face, but it wasn't, you get where I'm coming from. It wasn't on the net.
Right.
Period. So it was just funny how girls said, "No, we're gonna go with OnlyFans instead." Which, like I said, I was when the Bush recession. That's when Backpage and Craigslist blew up. Everybody, their mama jumped on that. So now, back off the tangent of FetLife. Fuck you, FetLife. Just saying, nothing personal. Just, I swear.
I get it.
When taboo became normalized, it was over.
And it's been inundated with, vanilla people who don't understand even the idea of consent. So I completely understand being completely done with FetLife.
It's like, No, even to the point, like, understand, I am not homophobic by any means, but dude, I don't do dudes. I don't need
Yeah.
to send me a message saying that, oh, I want.
I'm Dana Perino. Join me for my brand new podcast, Perino on Politics. As we analyze the 2024 election cycle, make sure you subscribe to this series on FoxNewsPodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts, and leave me a rating and review.
This episode is brought to you by Been Verified. Help chip away at the uncertainty that comes with online dating and use BeenVerified.com, a leading platform for online background searches and people search reports. With their powerful search tools and extensive database, you could easily gather information about potential dates, which may help you find peace of mind before taking that next step. You can never be too safe when it comes to dating. Get 20% off today to help take control of your dating game. Visit BeenVerified.com/podcast.
You to fuck me. I'm like, what? No. It's
I finally realized that I could change who was able to message me and who had to request.
Mhm.
And I finally changed that because, for business, I was still getting messages like, I want to bend you over. And I'm like, you got to pay to talk to me like that. So
I'm saying, it's like they want to. I'm like, no. Now, if you want me to talk dirty and you want to put some money in my pocket, by all means, I'll talk dirty with you, But no. 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 So now let's get back on tangent. So now you decided to collab. All right.
Yeah.
Because so you wasn't doing no solo content before you started collaborating.
I did solo content, not very much though.
Mm-hmm. You got tired of that quick, huh?
Well, I was still trying to figure out like lighting and what kind of camera to use, if I could use my phone, there were a lot of things I was still trying to figure out. And so for me, the creativity aspect of trying to figure out something new for solo content was just an added thing that I didn't want to have to deal with, which think about it as silly because finding someone to collab with takes more effort. But
yeah. But see, the thing about solo is just you have no one to bounce off of.
Right.
Period. And two, also, fans ultimately want to see you in a human being.
Yeah, they do.
I understand why girls don't understand that part of it.
I mean, some people have that fetish of wanting to see you on your own, and that's all well and fine. I'd say 75% of the people that see my stuff like the boy-girl or the girl-girl content more than they like the solo stuff.
Mm-hmm. But see, the reason why, because, see, I'm going to tell you the mistake that we make. You do realize fans do change their taste.
Oh, yeah.
See, ladies and gents don't understand that. And the base that they sit here and talk about, if you keep playing to that base and giving them the same shit, they're going to get bored with it and want something else. Period. That's why I'm like, that's why the reason why porn is becoming more extreme, because we can see more of it. We can experience more of it. It doesn't matter shit. We could be walking down the street watching it on our phone.
Yeah. I mean, here's my problem though. My creativity comes with a sense of humor. So I want to do something silly and sexy, but I know that the silly isn't going to be the thing that makes it sell, and it might be the thing that makes it flop. So I haven't added any aspect of my humor to any of my content because I just don't think that it's going to do well. But that's what I like.
I beg to differ.
You think so?
I beg to differ. I think it will.
All right. Well,
because
maybe I'll bring that into it.
No, the reason why I'm saying that, because we always hear the argument about how men watch a porn.
Sure.
I keep telling people this. If he bought this shit, he's going to watch the full scene at some point.
It's true.
He's going to watch the full. He just no. We keep thinking that, lady, that all he gonna do. No. At first he might skip through it, but then at some point he just gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And trust and believe, it's role play scenes. Anything that might have some comedy to it or what have you, it dares them to you, because sometimes they remember the skit more than the fucking.
That's true.
So No, it's just like I said. It's just I tell you about this is the opportunity for you to do it any way you want to do it. There's not a blueprint of how to do it. It's
Yeah.
just what they want is quality. The better the quality, and the more thought out it is, the more money it's probably going to make.
And I think that that's something a lot of people don't understand is the quality, because so many things are lacking that. They think that they can just churn out, we talk about solo and how you can't do the same thing over and over. They think you can just turn out this grainy, dimly lit solo content week after week or day after day, depending on how often you post, and think that that'll do it. And so I'm working on my creativity. I might add my humor to it at some point, but I think I want to get my schedule under control first.
I feel that. So what was your first, let's say, pro shoot with the lights, what have you, collab, boy, girl?
Shoot, I mean, I collabed with Princess Gemini and Killer Queen, and I collabed with a few other people when I was in Vegas in July, but I haven't done anything that would be considered pro.
Okay. So how do you you basically touched on a little bit of how you find the guys that you work with or what have you and everything. For you, what's the main thing that a guy has to bring to the table for y'all to work together?
It really is a case by case basis. So if someone approaches me and is respectful and doesn't just say, it's fine to call me sexy or something, but if your collab request is let's collab because I want to bend you over and going on and on, it's like, okay, that's like, be professional, buddy. But on top of that, I would require them to have, I'd say, at least 6 months with 1 or 2 collabs under their belt. And I would, look around and look at their content and see, what are they using? Because it's pretty obvious if someone's using a shitty phone or if they're using something a little bit better. I use my phone, but it's obvious if they've got a 10-year-old phone, not 10 years, but an old phone. If they don't have a tripod, at least. And so looking at their content and looking how much effort they put into it also to decide if I want to work with them.
Now I'm gonna ask you this: do you take into account whether or not they're shot with a BBW before?
It helps if they have, but it also depends on how much content. If they've only got 5 videos and only 1 is with a BBW, that's fine. That's 20% of their stuff. But if they've got 50 videos and only 1 of them is with a BBW, I'm probably not going to go with that because that's what. That's 2%. I do the math there.
You say you ain't want to be. You don't want to be the. You don't want to be the guinea pig. You don't want to be guinea pig too, huh?
To be one of the only 2 bigger women that you worked with, because 1, you're not going to know what kind of angles work best. You're not going to know what kind of positions work best to actually, not slip out. So yeah, I don't want to be one of the only 2 BBWs or 3 BBWs you worked with if you've got 100+ videos.
Yeah, because you have some guys that want to expand their territory because sometimes you can't help what's around you.
Yeah, I agree.
With me, I was on the opposite end. Skinny girls like, you sure you want to work with me? You work with a lot of big girls.
If they can make the case, I'll listen. I'm nothing if not understanding, but I can only make exceptions for, certain people, I guess.
So shoot. So with that, do you do anal?
I do, yeah. Quite a few videos recently have included anal.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it makes me want to come out of retirement. But anyway, so shoot. So because now, like I said, you haven't done what you say calls a pro shoot, but you have done pro style shoot. You know what I'm saying? What I mean is you have worked with Princess Gemini, lighting, because what you're describing is like whoever you work with, they got to have the studio light and the whole nine. So you shoot like if you are going to shoot with a major company at some point in time, what have you, or shoot majorly. So when it comes to your shoots, how do you prep for your shoots? When you know you have a collab coming up, how do you prep for it?
It depends. There's a guy I work with here in Syracuse fairly often. And it's been a minute because I went on vacation and then I got sick, which is why we had to reschedule this. But you know, when he and I film, there's not a whole lot of prep. We discuss what kind of scene we're looking to do. Like we've got an idea for a Halloween scene or two that I want to try to film this weekend if we've got time. And so I've got these kind of bullet points to hit, and that's about it. And in that case, I'd be the director, and I'll edit the videos. But when it comes to preparing for like my Vegas trip, I mean, I put everybody on a calendar. I had a spreadsheet for the kind of stuff I wanted to do and who I had, you know, STD tests from. And I mean, I was about as organized as a girl could get. I had a file, one of those accordion files with all the papers I needed. And I tried to make sure I had at least a few ideas for each thing and each person. And I mean, that's my way of preparing.
Yeah, because me, of course, I did role play scenes. I always like envision what the shoot is going to be when we're in the room, what have you, checking out the room and all that good stuff and everything. So but I know with anal though, I know you definitely prep your ass before you do a scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like that kind of didn't even need to be mentioned because, of course, yeah, that's gonna happen.
Because some people actually think that you just go in there, your ass is not prepped for nothing.
No, that's not how that works.
I mean, it's just funny the things that we have to do in front of the camera and off camera to get prepped for camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To even do things. And for you, when working in front of the camera, because this is the other thing I think people don't take into account is working in front of the camera is not the same as fucking off camera. I know y'all done heard me talk about this umpteen times. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Speak to the angles that you got to work your body to get the shots that y'all need. And understand this, mind you, she's doing this for content trade. So it's like, it's a difference versus this money on the table versus this content trade. Because some people can mail it in doing their content trade.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, you know, again, I go back to the guy I work with locally, whose name is Curtis Troy. I think he's only got an OnlyFans. But, you know, he's able to use his camera with his ring light, and I'm able to use mine. So we can get a couple of angles at once. But, you know, we'll talk about what we're going to do and how long. And what positions, and then after what feels like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, however long we need to do, we'll both get up and we'll kind of angle the video. And mostly it's him trying to figure out how I'll still be in the, you know, in the camera lens, whereas he blurs his face out, so he doesn't even need to be shown for the most part. But it's definitely difficult to try to figure it out and tell him, okay, but I want it this angle, but I can't see how he's setting that up, and if I move, I won't.
Y'all doing this with tripods, so this is not even with a cameraman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do not envy y'all. Shit, because tripod is a pain in the ass.
They are.
Is a pain in the ass, and I'm like, and I give it to the motherfucker. We have like 3 or 4 of them, you know. Trying to get the different angles, because also you got to think about the editing.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing a lot of like newcomers don't think about on the editing side is not only the angles and the lighting, but the timing. You know, you're gonna have to cut off the first 30 to 60 seconds of everything you film, and then the last 30 to 60 seconds. So if you only get 3 minutes, that's like maybe a minute of stuff.
You got to match your audio to all this shit.
Yeah. I don't have like a separate microphone, so matching the audio is not a problem for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It because it's kind of like, because especially like when they switching, like if you trying to get, let's say, y'all doggy style, and this doggy style you're facing. So he's trying to switch it to where you got the spot on, then the side, then the other side. At the same token, not losing the chronological order of the audio of what you're doing. With the moment, what you're saying, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do have some clips where I actually have like a picture, a view of my face up in like one corner and the rest of it in the view, or vice versa. I think a couple of them were custom videos where the person wanted to see both angles at once. But yeah, I do have to match up not only audio but the movements for that. So
yeah, see that's why I always love having a cameraman, and see that's why we always try to shoot it completely straight through to where
that'd be nice.
less editing, just less editing. So now I'm gonna ask you this: are you looking to do in your career a gangbang?
Yeah, I'd absolutely do that.
Oh my God! So, and how many? What would be your perfect gangbang? How many? What's the number?
I actually have done one in my personal life with 6 men, but that was before I was filming anything, so it didn't get on camera. So I would do
experience.
just one.
Okay, yeah, she did 6, so 10 ain't a stretch. Okay.
Yeah, so I could do 6. I could probably do more, because that wasn't like, I don't want to say that wasn't difficult and make it sound like no big deal, but it wasn't difficult and it was fun. So.
Okay, so how did you ended up in a 6-man gangbang?
Remember how we talked about FetLife?
Yeah.
Yeah. I met someone on there who had posted an ad about having a group of guys that regularly did that, and did the whole safe thing, made sure I got STD tests from all of them, and that was about it. I definitely learned a lot.
And did you learn something about yourself or just gangbang?
I learned stuff about myself, and I learned how to go about it the next time. I think the next time I do it, whether it's on camera or personally, I need to have somebody there who can advocate for me and make sure people stick to my boundaries, because when I'm in the moment, I cannot verbalize that's enough or whatever. And so the problem was when I didn't feel comfortable because I didn't have somebody with me that I knew very well, I didn't feel comfortable saying, don't do this, don't do that, whatever the case was. And I can't think of anything off the top of my head because it was a few years ago, but that was certainly one thing that I didn't realize, because I've had no problem with partners or co-performers having to tell them to slow down or stop the scene. I just use the traffic light system, and I've had no problem doing that. But in a group setting, I just wasn't able to.
Yeah, because see, now I see the difference between a normal gangbang and a porn gangbang.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, it's organized chaos, because in that gangbang you was in, them dudes were just horny and repping to go. They weren't thinking about boundaries. They won't think she was a body. There was a group that gets together every once in a blue moon and once a week, and they bang the shit out of somebody because they have frustrations in their home.
Yeah.
So,
not wrong.
but that would make the experience not great. Was that, or it was good? I mean,
overall, it was good. It was just, again, it was just a few instances, and it wasn't anything that made me so uncomfortable that I wouldn't do it again. But it's just, it was a learning experience.
Yeah, because shoot, and they get the fuck raw too, so they were trying to gut you. And I don't really laugh, but see, I know how dudes is. It's like, yeah, you don't understand. Dudes get pussy when it's available. Just keep that in mind.
No, I'm aware.
So I tell people remember that. They keep that in mind. So when he gets the opportunity to rail something, he's gonna rail. Yeah. And I mean, and plus it just be like in them situations, you would think it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe because he knows he ain't got much time in it because he's sharing it with so many other dudes that he really got to get his. Was any of them even somewhat loving? Or sensual to a certain extent that gave you a rest?
No, I didn't get a rest. But the guy in charge was, trying to make me feel comfortable and, doing what he could, but he still wasn't someone that knew me and knew like the signs of again, me, whatever was going on. So.
Yeah, so shoot. But no, but like I said, but for you, your next one would probably be you probably would prefer it to be on camera?
Probably, yeah.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And do you do glory holes?
I haven't. No, haven't done that.
No. Sure. I said I'm going to experience one day in life. One day in life. So, with that being said, people, you know what time of the show it is. That time of the show where the pushes go drive and discs go limp. Let's talk about the business. So this is the part of the show where, it gets boring for you people. So sorry if you want to tune out. That's your fucking prerogative. So, but now you're a lady that you're not really dependent upon the porn money.
No, I'm not.
9 to 5, where are you? So for you, you're not as stressed as somebody that would be if times get slow or what have you. So, because a lot of people think, one, this is quick money, easy money, and lots of it.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
So, it's like with you, and like you said, also you're working a 9 to 5, so now I got to find time to chase the business. You know, so with you, it's like, how do, one, you balance it, and two, how much harder is it for you to chase the business with you having a 9 to 5? But at the same token, gives you that cushion.
Yeah, and I will say I'm coming off of a commission only job that at the end wasn't really paying the way it was supposed to. And I don't think that company's going to be around by the end of the year, so that doesn't do anything. So this.
Oh damn, that's not good.
But obviously working from home before was much easier to, shower in the middle of the day and make sure that I was ready to do whatever I needed to do in the evening. Mm-hmm. Now it comes down to, okay, well, I don't get home until 5:30 and I'm up at, 6:30 in the morning, and do I have time to come home? And the person I film with here, he works early mornings, and so he goes to bed earlier than me. So can we find time on a weekday evening, or do we have to wait till the weekend? But it's also, now it's football season, and I like.
She said, I like football, so okay, there you go.
So, when do we find time? And I've started dating again, and so I find time for that too. And it's just balancing it is definitely difficult. But when it comes to everything except filming with someone, so if it's solo filming, if it's editing, if it's scheduling posts to go out, I set aside time typically on a Sunday morning or a Wednesday evening, and I make sure that I actually sit down and I do what I need to do, or come upstairs and film if I need to. And I get it done, and it's just a matter of willpower at that point, which doesn't sound like I like it. I do, because once I get into it, I'm happy and I enjoy it. But it's
sort of an escape. To focus on something that is not life.
Yeah. The hard part is the lead up, thinking oh, now I have to go home and clean up and maybe redo my makeup. But once I'm filming, once I'm doing whatever it is, I'm happy.
So now you mentioned dating. Now remember, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
How is it being that with you in this world?
Maruchan superfans are everywhere. From the busy moms who want to deliver maximum flavor in a flash to dorm room diners who want to put some slurp in their step. There are a ton of copycats you could use. But if you want to bless your bowl, there's only one true Maruchan. Whether you choose instant lunch, ramen bowls, yakisoba, or restaurant quality gold, Maruchan is the only ramen worth obsessing over. Smiles for all. Maruchan. See what all the ramen hype is about at maruchan.com.
Matter of figuring out, asking the right questions before you divulge the information. So I like to see how religious someone is, or how accepting of the LGBTQ community they are, or anything like that. Because I consider myself queer. I haven't dated any women, but I've been with women sexually, and it's I like to see kind of, are they an ally? Are they homophobic? How do they feel about it? Because typically if someone is, they're gonna look down on this. If they're not an ally of the queer community, they're gonna look down on this 9 times out of 10. They're a Republican, they're definitely gonna look down on this. Of asking those questions before I go, okay, I like him or her or them, and I think I'm gonna tell them, So it's difficult, and I'm still in the early stages of seeing somebody, to the point that I haven't had that conversation yet. But there was one person before who knew we'd actually been sleeping together for like a year, and then we went on a date, and he knew what I did already, and so he didn't seem to be able to handle it. But at least he was polite about it. Like he didn't try to dox me or anything like that. But it's a balance.
I find it crazy that even this day and age that there are guys who can't handle it.
Well, I think part of it's not the act of the filming. It's not the fact that I do it, because a lot of guys think that's hot. It's the fact that I work with other people and they don't want to.
Yeah, I know. It's the fact you're getting fucked by another dude. That's what it is about. It's
a job. I love it. I enjoy meeting everybody, but I can just don't feel anything other than something platonic for the person I'm with.
And I think guys that don't get that, it's the ones that probably want to actually date women like you. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
For some apparent reason, it's like, because I mean, even to me, one, I always thought differently anyway. And two, it's no different if he was dating a female that wanted to swing.
Yeah.
Or even some strippers, they do VIP. Let's keep it 100. But it's kind of like, to me, cause even when I thought about when it comes to men and men on their end of dating, do we run into no problems? Because I asked them questions a couple of times. And I had a lady that told me about a reality show that she was putting together that involved a dude dating. And when she found out how many scenes he shot, it's just he was all, she didn't want him. She didn't want him. She said, nah, I'm good. But like I said, but it's just, the crazy part is, even being retired, if I wasn't already in a relationship, it'll be, unless I'm dating somebody in the industry, swinger or poly, I would be single.
Yeah.
Period. Because it's just like, me, I don't believe monogamy is physical. It's mental.
Right.
That's one. Because I'm like, I look at it like this. We sit here talking about traditional relationships, traditional marriages, all that shit. Okay, what if your mate is bi? Then what? Yeah. Ain't gonna be much traditional in it.
Nope. Yeah, what do you do then? Yeah.
And what? Yeah, what? You know what I'm saying? And not saying that it gives the one that is hetero, a pass to cheat or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, at some point, that woman gonna want some pussy.
Yeah.
That dude, if he's bi, gonna want some dick. I'm just saying. So, and I'm just like, it's just funny because I think, which is worse? Can a woman handle her man being fucked by another woman, or a man? Which one is worse? Which one can't handle it the worst?
In my experience, as long as, if it's this kind of situation where they're working with other people, I think the women can handle it better 9 times out of 10. Yeah, we can get emotional, but we seem to have a better head on our shoulders when it comes to that. We seem to have a better understanding of how to juggle those things, and therefore, I mean, as long as I'm being told about things,
Yeah.
if I know, go ahead.
Yeah, I done talked to a couple where nothing goes on outside the relationship other than her doing porn.
Yeah.
Period. He just looks at it as that's work. Trust me, that's rare to people. Because I'm sorry, dude. Because look, you already know the first question you're gonna ask was his dick bigger.
Yeah, that is gonna be, yeah.
Dude, but see, I was like I said again, if they actually watched, if they actually shot a scene,
yeah, they would know.
They would act totally different.
Yeah,
they'd probably be like, "What you going to shoot? Bye, babe. Go ahead. Bye. Yeah. Get out of get out the house. See when you come back, I love you. You got an issue with her, but dude, it ain't that fun.
It's fun. It ain't that fun point of like developing feelings and feeling something intimate. It still feels like work, but work I enjoy.
Weird. We be sore afterwards. That's not. No. That's that. Look, I don't give a fuck what anybody say. Good sex does not equal soreness.
Muscle soreness, yeah.
Because I'm sorry, she might have to ride a dick. She may not feel like riding a dick. She may have to ride a dick for 5 minutes.
Yeah. There's so many things that I have done that, like, in my personal sex life, I would be like, no, not happening. Only if it's your birthday.
She might have to goddamn ride reverse cowgirl squat, and this shit. He might have to mount the ass, why in the ass. I'm just saying, these are just different positions.
There are so many positions that don't happen in personal, just bedroom sex.
No, it don't. It don't. Actually, if it does happen in your bedroom, it's once a year, and you're always drunk.
Or it's your birthday.
Always drunk and high off Molly.
Oh.
But I mean But see that just proves to me it's. But if you was an actress, wouldn't be an issue.
No, of course not.
See, but technically you are an actress. I mean, it's just we just do to do. They don't.
I'm pretending to have an orgasm multiple times on camera.
And that's the other thing too, because I was asked by his dad, and they be thinking, and I think the smokers be thinking like that it's not pleasurable because y'all don't have an orgasm during some of your shoots.
No, it's pleasurable. I just, have to go home and take care of myself afterward. But I still enjoy what I'm doing, and I have a good time. And I mean, if most of the time there was, one person that I would say was actually bad in the bedroom, but everybody else has been good and has been fun and is, it doesn't mean I'm having a good time.
You had those shoots, huh?
Say what?
You had one of those shoots, huh?
Yeah, I had one of those shoots.
Maintenance shoot. Let's just get through this. It's
exactly what that was. But everybody else has been fantastic.
See, I'm sorry. Maintenance shoots build character.
They are a learning experience, as many things in this industry are.
It'd be like, damn, is it me? Is it you? What's the problem here? What's the problem here? But it happens though. I tell everybody, it happens. Because I'm sorry. They only have an issue once a month. Our dick can act funny when it has a mind of its own, people. Trust and believe. Some days it just don't want to act right. There ain't a damn thing we can do about it. So with that being said, we had the end of another wonderful episode here on the Smokers Lounge, period. And you know what I got to ask you. I got to bring you back. So with that being said, can I call you a smoke buddy?
Absolutely, you can.
So here, Miss Sitwell will be back here on the Smokers Lounge, and we're gonna bring her on Excite Bunny, audio-wise on Spotify. We're talking about the premium smoke room. It gets more nasty, it gets more crazy, it gets more wild, it gets way more unpredictable. Titties come out, dildos might come out. You don't know what might happen unless you subscribe. Okay, people. $4.99 a month, 5 premium podcasts for you to enjoy, and 3 tiers. You know what I'm saying? So you might even get a nice message from one of the co-hosts from the Premium Smoke Room. You know what I'm saying? So check it out and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, you still would like to continue to subscribe on Spotify and listen to it, well, you can. $4.99 a month. 2 ways to get great extra content from the Smokers Lounge in the Premium Smoke Room. So with that being said, Miss Sitwell, tell everybody where they can spend their money on you.
They can find me on ManyVids, I Want Clips, OnlyFans, Loyal Fans, and Sin Party.
There you go. So y'all go look that up and go spend that money on Miss Lady so she can continue to make that great content. And we will continue to follow her on her journey because she will be back. So with that being said, you know how we end these things all day, every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you haven't learned anything? Smoke this over. Say goodbye to him, Miss Sitwell.
Bye.